We are going to present a briefing this evening on a project that's going to have a significant impact on West Dallas, on the entire community, but I think particularly on this community even more so. And we want to show you tonight how that impact will occur and lots of exciting things. And Becca Duggar, who is the director of the Trinity River Corridor Project, will do that presentation for us.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to talk to you today about the Trinity River Corridor Project, the entire project, and I'm very excited to bring you perhaps some pictures that you haven't seen before, some construction pictures, but I'm also going to focus particularly on what the Trinity River Corridor Project means for the west side of Dallas. Of course, this is the largest public works project that the City of Dallas has ever undertaken. It covers 20 miles of the Trinity River. About in the center of your map that you'll have in front of you, that's downtown Dallas in this area here, but the project goes all the way up to the left-hand corner of the map here, up to Royal Lane, comes down along the Elm Fork of the Trinity River, past West Dallas, past Oak Cliff, and continues on down to Interstate 20 in the south. It covers approximately 10,000 acres. We're going to have one of the largest urban parks in the country, literally walking distance from where we are right now. We like to compare that to probably the most famous urban park in this country, which is Central Park. Central Park is 840 acres, so we're going to have over 10 times the size of Central Park right here in Dallas for us to use. The project has multiple components to it. The most important part, of course, is flood protection. As we've seen so much in the past few years, we have to keep people safe in their properties and in their lives. No more important than this year. This is the 100th year anniversary of the last time we had a 100-year flood, and so we've got to keep people protected from flooding. But we also need to take care of our environment. We've got a lot of really nice recreational features that we're going to be providing for you. Our transportation components include the Trinity Parkway, signature bridges, and also some work on Sylvan and Beckley. And then, of course, we certainly hope this project will be an economic generator for the City of Dallas. A little bit of a timeline background of how we got here. Back in May of '98, the Trinity River Corridor Bond Program was passed for $246 million. Now, this is a $2 to $2.5 billion project, so we have to have additional funds coming in. We have great partners with the North Texas Tollway Authority, the Texas Department of Transportation, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Dallas County. Over $25 million in private funds have come in for this project. So we have a lot of great partners helping fund this project. In March of 2004, we adopted our Balanced Vision Plan, which provides all the concepts for the many components of this project. Let's first talk about flood protection. We've got several components under design right now. Our Dallas Floodway Extension Project will extend our existing levees 5.5 miles downstream to protect those areas that don't have flood protection now. Up in the Elm Fork area, we also have some levees and wetlands for flood protection. And in the downtown area, our levees will be raised slightly to protect from flooding in that area. Now, these are some construction pictures. We actually took the picture on the bottom right there last week when we had the big storm come through. Our lower chain of wetlands is absolutely complete and doing their job. This is what these wetland cells are supposed to do, to take the floodwaters from the Trinity River and route it through the Great Trinity Forest so that it doesn't back up into areas like West Dallas. So even though these wetland cells are located south of here, they are literally helping to reduce flood levels in this area so that it doesn't go up and over the levees. So we're very proud to see these in service. Now, these are some pictures also of that same flooding area, but you'll see when these wetland cells, when the water recedes, they will still have some water in them. It'll be an area for the wildlife habitat. You'll be able to access these areas from the Joppy neighborhood and then also from Loop 12, the construction bridge that was constructed to help build these wetland cells will remain, and it will be an access point into these areas. Future work on the downstream area, we have another chain of wetlands that'll go from the dark rail line down to I-45. We're going to be protecting the Lamar area with a levee on that side, and then also on the other side, the Cadillac Heights levee will get built to protect that neighborhood. Now, the existing levees will be raised by as much as 2 feet, again, protecting this area, providing additional protection for the West Dallas area and all the areas along the levees from the 800-year flood. So that's a great amount of flood protection that we have from the Trinity River. And then up in the Elm Fork area, we'll provide a smaller levee, but it will protect over $25 million in assets in the areas near Manana and Spangler. Another wetland will help with flood conveyance in this area. And we expect to begin construction on this actually in the fall of this year. We'll have our plans earlier this year. Now, here's some pictures that may be more familiar to the people in the audience. This was the flood of March 2006. And this is a different kind of flooding. This is flooding from interior drainage. This is the rainwater that has to get to the Trinity River. And sometimes it can't get there fast enough. And so what does it do? It backs up into the streets and the homes. So we have a plan to protect the areas from interior drainage, from interior flooding, excuse me. And so we've got showing here the area that's encompassed by the levees. There are two pump stations that we are working on right now with designs, the Baker pump station over on the downtown side and the Pavaho pump station on this side of the levees. We'll begin construction on those in the fall of 2009, fall of next year. And then we'll be starting on our design contracts for Able Pump Station and Charlie Pump Station. Those are between the Houston and Jefferson Street bridges. And then we've got pump stations, Delta, Hampton, and the Trinity Portland pump stations that'll begin sometime in late 2010. Moving on to our recreational features, the Trinity River Corridor has been divided up into 3 sections geographically. We have our Trinity Fields, which is up in the Elm Fork area, our Trinity Lakes in the central area, and then our Trinity Forest, which is further downstream. And you can note the different designs of our branding that we have. We have a different brand kind of for each of those sections of the project. Moving first to recreation in the Trinity Fields area up in the Elm Fork. Dallas really needs a lot of soccer fields, and we need a lot of them all in one place so we can host the large tournaments, the international tournaments, high school, college tournaments. And we're going to have one of these located just west of I-35 in Walnut Hill. We're building it on an old landfill, taking an old landfill, converting it into 22 soccer fields. We expect to begin construction late next year, and we'll have that complete in 2011. Moving downstream then, further down to the Trinity Forest, we've got 6,000 acres of bottomland hardwood forest, one of the largest urban forests in the country. We've found many bird and wildlife species down there, and we have a plan to protect this area, to maintain it and operate it. We're going to provide for wildlife habitat, and we're going to learn, too, how to plant, when to clear, what our budgetary needs are. We've also identified a potential site that might be good for tent camping or RV camping down there. So these are the things we're going to be exploring in our Great Trinity Forest. If you haven't been down there, I certainly encourage you to go to our Trinity River Audubon Center. It is a fantastic facility located off of Loop 12 down in the south. If you're traveling I-45, take Loop 12 toward the east, go about 2 miles, and you'll see the sign for it. This is kind of the educational wing, the wet laboratories that they have for the kiddos to go and learn about the birds and the wildlife and plant life. It's interesting to note this building has been built for this area. It's very green. Note that the windows are slanted at about a 12-degree angle. That's to keep the birds from bird strikes. How sometimes birds see their reflections in the windows and they want to fly into it. So they've really taken care of the birds in this area. You'll see they have exhibits. They have a flood model, lots of exhibits about the Trinity River and its ecosystem. One of the wetland cells actually has kind of a window in it so that you can see the fish swimming around. A lot of other green features. Here's an aerial that was taken actually last week. And you can see in the foreground of this picture, that's the actual Trinity River. That's how close you are to the Trinity River when you're at the Audubon Center. Note that the aerial view of the Audubon Center kind of resembles a bird in flight. Here's another picture that we have that really shows the extent of all the trails that are around this area, the wetland cells and the boardwalk. So I encourage you to go out there. The third Thursday of the month, it's free. It stays open later that night. So I would encourage you to go out there anytime, really. But it's a wonderful place to go.